Brevity is the soul of wit, so say Shakespeare. I know it may not seem it on this channel, but I tend to agree in most cases. So we're going to stay laser focused here. Pokemon is a treasured series for me, and I wanted to take some time to analyze the anatomy of one of the best moments of the entire series. If you know, you probably know, but if you don't, I'm going to build up all the cool context that makes this moment great before spoiling what it is. Pokemon Platinum originally released on the Nintendo DS in 2008 over here in the West. It was the first generation of games that I was actively following online on sites like Cerebi.net and Bulbapedia. Of course, I've largely played all of the games at this point, but Platinum is where I was actively following pre-release material, coming off of Diamond and Pearl, which released 2 years earlier. And back in Diamond and Pearl, there was always a Pokemon that I thought could use more lore. Giratina. This Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl is simply a victory lap. It's another legendary Pokemon in a region that has 14 new legends of all kinds to add to its ranks. But check this out. Giratina, the renegade Pokemon. A Pokemon that is said to live in a world on the reverse side of ours. It appears in an ancient cemetery. Okay, that's cool and all, but what do you mean reverse? I remember reading that initially and going, well, there must be some way to get to where it comes from. But alas, I had to wait until Pokemon Platinum to fully understand what that meant, as in Platinum, Giratina takes a headlong appearance in the Distortion world, basically an equivalent to Hell, as Giratina does take on symbolism more of Lucifer to Arceus' more godlike role, but I'm not going to get into the thick of that discussion here. I will talk about Giratina's Platinum Pokédex entry though. It was banished for its violence. It silently gazed upon the old world from the Distortion world. That's so sick. Anyway, Gen 4 cemented itself as a really solid foundation for Pokemon's world building and lore from this point on. And there's one more thing that it cemented in the hearts of anyone who's played it. The primordial fear one faces when a piano begins playing. Cynthia is a character you meet pretty early on in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and you have a twist that's totally not a twist reveal that she's the champion awaiting your end of your journey, as the capstone to all your triumphs. This isn't really meant to be a huge surprise, as the previous generation did the same exact kind of twist with Steven. What is a twist, though, is how she'll kick your shit in if you're not prepared. Packed with a team comprising some of the most genuinely competitive Pokemon found in the game, including your ace Garchomp, which is without a doubt the strongest Pokemon revealed up to this point that's not a legendary. If you haven't prepared in advance for this fight, and don't have an ice type like Weavile on your team, you know, a 1 in 493 chance at this time, this thing will take names. Cynthia's legacy was cemented as the hard champion. She was the one horror stories were written about. It absolutely helps the lore that Cynthia appears as a post-game boss in the next games in the series, Pokemon Black and White. This only helped solidify Cynthia's legacy, as her team here is an even stronger version of her original team at much higher levels. Now, in the modern day, it's become a situation where Cynthia is so known about and so talked about, it's created a new wave of fans who hate Cynthia because they think her difficulty is overblown. But these people are working with context and years after the original release, where anybody can look up a guide online on how to make her threats not a threat. Okay, so these things are all good and well, but Pokemon Platinum isn't the source of the best moment in this series. I'm here to talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus. I won't go into the super long spiel of it, but Legends Arceus takes place in the pretty distant past compared to most of the main series, meaning that you'll see ancestors of characters that do appear in the main series. Captain Xylene is the ancestor of Cyrus, the leader of the villainous Team Galactic, which of course the Galaxy Core is the precursor to. Professor Laventon is the ancestor of Hop and Leon for Pokemon Sword and Shield, so on and so forth. There's way more here, but they don't matter for the purposes of this video. -1. Volo is a traveling merchant you meet right at the start of the game, who, if you can't tell, is an ancestor to Cynthia. Volo as a name is interesting because it originates from the Latin phrase volo ergo sum, the philosophical Latin meaning I wish, therefore I am, which actually connects to another ancestor Cynthia has at this time, being unique in that nobody else seems to have more than one represented in this game, but the mysterious maiden Cogita's name comes from a similar etymology. Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. Anyway, Volo is a kind soul who you cross paths with many times on your journey throughout Hisui. He shares Cynthia's love for myths, and he's traveling himself to uncover the various mysteries around Hisui. He helps you along the way with his partner Togepi, and even teaches you helpful skills like how to surprise Pokemon from behind, demonstrating on you by scaring you from behind. This has gameplay advantages at taking Pokemon by surprise and allowing advantage in battle or in capture. Now, coming near the end of the game, after you resolve the events of the story with Dialga and Palkia, you can gather the remainder of the plate through some post-game side quests. You'll find Volo atop the Spirit Pillar. Here, he reveals that he was the one who initially brought about the events that caused Alpha Pokemon to rage in the region. He reveals his jealousy over you being selected as Arceus' chosen, and thus began communion with powers who could help bring his rage to reality. He's been backstabbing everyone the entire time. No wonder he's so good at teaching you how to do that to Pokemon. Anyway, you encounter him and...
Okay. Oh, he has 6 Pokemon. Uh-oh. Oh, that's an insane... Wait, uh-oh. Is that piano I hear? Oh my god. Hold up. I wasn't scared until I heard the piano. Oh my god, the strings! Oh no. Oh my god, my PTSD. Wait, he opens with Spiritomb. Is this a Cynthia's team?
Yes, Volo's battle theme is a remix of Cynthia's encounter music that has been haunting players for years. Even his starting Pokemon is a hint toward this inevitable battle, as Cynthia's team features a Togekiss on it. In fact, Volo's team is Cynthia's team minus Milotic, which is only not here because it's not in Legends Arceus at all. So, in its place, he has a Hisuian Arcanine. His team's pretty tough, but you should have enough in you to be able to take him down. It's after you defeat him here, though, that he reveals the card up his sleeve. The powerful being he was in communion with has summoned to the field Giratina, the Renegade, banished for its violence. It's now here to fight you one-on-one, and since it's under Volo's control, you cannot capture it. You have to take it down. It's important to note you do not get the chance to heal in between the fights here, so if you manage to just barely scrape by and win against Volo with your last Pokemon, you start at that same point against Giratina. Okay, that's a welcome surprise. We get a face-off against Giratina, you get to think to yourself, man, I wish this was against its origin form, had a really cool battle theme in Platinum, but we just get the normal remix from Diamond and Pearl. You struggle, you manage to take down Giratina, you're on your last legs now, your team is in shambles, having to go against the odds in a 6v7 match. But wait.
A speedy Moonblast! Into a good Moonblast will do the trick. Oh my goodness. Give me that strong style. Oh, I have been recording for, this file's an hour and 40. Angel's gonna see that, but I did another attempt. So it's like an hour and 50. Insane. What is happening? That animation was nuts. Okay, I'm clearly out of my depth here. I'm going to get a new team.
This is a 3-phase fight. Origin Giratina is here. You do not get to heal still. And Origin Giratina, coming primed with a remix of its Platinum battle theme, gets the first move against you where it will use its signature move, Shadow Force, which has been given a sick new animation. In most cases, you're wiped out. Where do you respawn? Right at the base of Spirit Pillar. You must start from the beginning. You start from fighting Volo. This is such a cool fight and a clear evolution of difficulty for this series, and I don't see enough people talking about it. That's all I wanted to talk about, so you should play Legends Arceus. Bye!